Lindsay's Olivia Apps leads Canada to historic silver in Rugby Sevens at Paris 2024 Olympics. Daryl Knight, The Standard. Kawartha Lakes. In a dazzling display of resilience and skill, Team Canada's Women's Rugby Sevens team clinched a historic silver medal at the Paris 2024 Olympics, their best ever finish in the sport at the Games. There was a local connection as the team's inspiring journey was spearheaded by Captain Olivia Apps, a 25-year-old Lindsay native whose leadership and tenacity on the field were instrumental in their success. Canada's path to the podium was marked by a series of impressive victories, including a stunning comeback win against Australia in the semi-finals. Down 12-0, Canada rallied to a 21-12 triumph, showcasing their unyielding spirit. Ms. Apps played a crucial role throughout the tournament. Her performances, both as a player and a leader, were pivotal in guiding the team through challenging moments. In the gold medal match, Canada faced the formidable New Zealand team, the reigning champions. The Canadians took a surprising 12-7 lead by halftime, thanks to efforts from Chloe Daniels and Alicia Corrigan. However, New Zealand's experience and skill proved decisive in the second half, as they secured a 19-12 victory. Despite the loss, the silver medal represents a monumental achievement for Canadian rugby, surpassing their previous bronze medal in Rio of 2016. Ms. Apps, who has been a beacon of inspiration for her teammates, expressed immense pride in their accomplishment. "It's a dream come true," she said, reflecting on the team's journey. "This medal is a testament to the hard work and dedication of every player and staff member. We hope we've inspired the next generation of Canadian rugby players." The team's performance in Paris is not only a celebration of their skill and determination, but also a promise of a bright future. With young talent like Ms. Apps leading the way, Canada looks forward to potentially climbing to the top of the podium in future competitions, including in the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics.
Uxbridge Aggregate Pit awarded for rehabilitation work. Dan Kearns, The Standard. Uxbridge. A local aggregate pit location has won an award for its work on rehabilitating the site. On Wednesday, July 17th, the Ontario Stone, Sand and Gravel Association, OSSGA, awarded the Judge's Choice Award in Progressive Rehabilitation to the Miller Group's Boyington Pit, located on Concession 8 in Uxbridge. The Judge's Choice Award celebrates the techniques and approaches within the industry which raise the bar for progressive site rehabilitation, Michael McSweeney, OSSGA's executive director, said in a statement. The Miller Group's Boyington Pit proves, with responsible land stewardship and well-planned rehabilitation practices, it is entirely possible to achieve productive agricultural land post-extraction. According to the press release, the work involved 309 hours grading, loading, and hauling overburden and fine sands to shape the floor, as well as the planting of corn, soybean, and wheat crops, with the harvest of the first and second year crops. Scott Boyle from Miller Paving called the award a great honor and said the company has come a long way. "We made a conscious effort a few years ago. We were going to refocus on rehabilitation. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of money. But when we see results like this, we really feel it's been worthwhile." Ward 4 Councillor Willie Popp beamed about the work Miller had undertaken on the site. "There was a lot of passion from our residents and a lot of passion from our council too. Fast forward to now, silence had a lot of residents thinking maybe different things were happening, and not the most positive things in the world. To be so incredibly shocked, surprised, and frankly awestruck by what you've done here, I stand here on behalf of the residents of Uxbridge and say congrats on the well-deserved award for what you have done to the area."
Kawartha Lakes to look at providing a parking lot at Coronation Hall. Dan Kearns, The Standard. Kawartha Lakes. The city of Kawartha Lakes is looking to add a parking lot at Omimi's Coronation Hall. At a meeting on Tuesday, July 23rd, councillors saw a memorandum from Ward 6 Councillor Ron Ashmore requesting the city's realty staff to investigate the purchase of, or a parking lease agreement for, the lot adjacent to Coronation Hall in Omimi. The memo also asked for a report to come back to council in the final quarter of this year. This is the only community centre in the city of Kawartha Lakes where there is zero public parking. There are 2 parking spots at the back for staff. This is just asking for a report to see what it would cost to lease or buy the lot next door, Councillor Ashmore explained. The memo called Coronation Hall a very important community hub in the village of Omemee and surrounding area, and noted the facility not only serves its residents for various functions but also serves as an important service center for southeast Kawartha Lakes. Ward 7 Councillor Charlie McDonald said this idea was worth having a look at and seeing what it would cost. The recommendation in the memo was later approved by Council.
Beaver Ridge project underway in Beaverton. Daryl Knight, The Standard. Brock. Demolition work is underway on the Beaver Ridge Bridge outside Beaverton, with the new temporary bridge expected to open early this autumn. Durham Region's contractor for this project mobilized to the site in early July and has been working over the past several weeks, installing various safety and environmental protection measures. These measures include traffic protection, erosion and sediment control systems, and a river protection system featuring floating interlocking barges. Recently, demolition work has begun on the bridge to facilitate the new temporary bridge. Regional Councillor Mike Jubb noted the temporary bridge is expected to alleviate the traffic issues which have plagued the community for almost a year since the emergency closure of the bridge last autumn, while facilitating the construction of a new permanent structure. The work is anticipated to be completed over the next 3 years, with the region forecasting a completion date sometime in 2027. Bridge planning takes years, so when you go to repair a bridge, it's probably 5, 6, even 7 years to finish that project, explained Councillor Jubb. This situation was obviously unplanned and design was underway, but probably only 30%, so we're still 3 years out from a permanent bridge. The reasoning is we fought very hard to get funding from the provincial government for a temporary bridge because we cannot wait 3 years. Emergency services need access. Our businesses in town, everybody needs access. That's the reason for a temporary bridge, and it's extremely complicated. Councillor Jubb added, once the temporary bridge is in place this autumn, traffic will not be interrupted to complete the new permanent bridge. The temporary bridge is being built slightly to the south of the existing structure, with 2 new lanes to avoid further disruptions to local traffic as the project continues. The Beaver Ridge Bridge project has received all necessary approvals from key regulatory bodies, including Transport Canada Navigation Project, Fisheries and Oceans Canada, DFO, Lake Scugog Region Conservation Authority, LSRCA, and the Ontario Ministry of Transportation, MTO.
Welcome to You've Got to Be Kidding, a podcast that offers a different perspective of life around us. Listen now to author Jonathan van Bilsen.
NASA is constantly looking for better ways to feed astronauts, especially on long space missions. This is certainly not a new problem, and you may recall the orange-flavored crystals under the brand name of Tang that were invented by the space agency. Russia has similar problems, and in an effort to find a solution, they experimented with quails, an easy-to-prepare delicacy. In 1990, the Soviets sent a pair of blue quail along with astronauts to the Mir space station. The experiment was to see if quail would be a good food source for astronauts, one which could be locally hatched. It was obviously much easier to send 2 birds instead of a dozen or so. All was well, and because the female was pregnant before they left Earth, after a few days she laid 15 eggs. She spent the next 21 days sitting on the nest, and sure enough, 8 of the 15 eggs hatched. The cosmonauts were ecstatic as they had visions of fresh meat for quite some time to come. Then the issues began to arise. The first problem was the zero gravity in the space station. It seems the little feathered friends were unable to latch on to Mom and couldn't eat. Not to worry, as Dad is patiently sitting in a corner waiting for Mom to turn her attention back to him. The biggest discovery of the trip was that zero gravity also lowered the libido in quails. The females stopped ovulating, and the males had very reduced testosterone levels, and both sexes exhibited absolute apathy to mating. To further explore the issue, in 2011, the University of Kentucky received a massive grant from the National Institute of Health to determine if feeding cocaine to quails improved the aforementioned conundrum. Surprisingly, the cocaine was linked to eliminating the behavior. However, the cost factor was much higher than the problem was worth. If I ever have an opportunity to travel into outer space, I for one will stick to Tang. I'm Jonathan van Bilsen, and this is You've Got to Be Kidding.
You've Got to Be Kidding was presented by X4 Media with permission from the Standard Media Group. We endeavor to make all information contained in this program as accurate as possible at production time. X4 Media and the Standard Media Group are not responsible for any liabilities resulting from information contained in this program. For more information, please visit x4media.ca.
The Standard Podcast was produced by Greenstream Studio for the Standard newspaper.